Boop. Starting. Podcast starts in 3, 2, 1.
Good morning, Midwestern Mages. Welcome to the Dylan and Brody Our Magic podcast. I'm Dylan Hartman.
And I'm Brody Hansen.
And we're here to bring with you today another episode of our podcast here. This will be interesting.
Indeed it will be.
I'm excited. Today we're going to be talking about commander etiquette. So how to be a good player and how to, be a good player in both the aspect of, having good manners and even, and the decks that you're playing,
Yeah.
good deck aspects.
By good, we mean we're not being like going to a pro tour good. Like, I'm playing at a higher level. I'm thinking on a higher plane. We're talking about just good stuff. Like,
Absolutely.
Deck level, how you should be, like, quote unquote, should be. I ain't gonna tell you how you should act unless you're out of line, but
Yeah.
like, just be a good person. This is the thing about Commander. It's a casual format. Keyword is casual. People come play Commander, have fun, and stuff like that. We're just going to be talking about maybe some things you should look at, and some things, if you're new to this, these are some things that you should keep in mind when playing.
Especially as a new player. Yeah. I remember the first time I started playing, showing up at just a local LGS, and you know what you're expecting.
No.
Especially as a new player, you got a brand new deck, and you're like, oh my gosh, I just opened up this pre-con, and there's so much cool cards in there, and you just walk in there not expecting
to sit at a table with a CEDH player, a control player.
Yeah. I remember, my first game I played against anyone other than, my family members when I started.
Yeah.
Was I went and sat down and I'm playing against Omnath Locus of Mana, and I got absolutely obliterated because he had like a bajillion mana on turn 3, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on. My deck is only playing mountain, plains, forest, and that's it.
Yeah.
This is a little creature deck. So, yeah, we'll be talking about manners. We'll be talking about threat assessments. We'll be talking about Rule 0. We'll be talking about confrontation and how you can deal with confrontation in your games.
Oh yeah.
And then we'll also be talking about some of like the not so much the player aspect but the game aspect of it. So we'll be discussing the usual suspects: stacks, board wipes, extra turn spells. Maybe
some things you should have in your deck. Maybe some things a lot of people don't like to see at a table. Stuff like that.
Yeah, that's our discussion for today. So yeah, Brody, if you want to kick us off with what we're going to be talking about, I think we're going to be discussing manners first. I think.
Yeah, usually that's how it goes. So, first,
do you have good manners?
I would hope so. I think I'm a well-rounded lad.
And it's tough.
Yeah, it's tough. Right. So how it goes? Come to a commander table, you come to your local LGS. One thing you should always do is just sort of like introduce yourself. That should be the common ground. But every commander game should start with a Rule 0 talk. Just introducing, hey, I'm playing this.
Yeah.
What are you playing? What's the power level we're looking at? That's a big thing for me, is just the power level thing.
Yeah, like, am I playing against Kenrith, or am I playing against...
Kenrith.
No. When I say Kenrith, I'm only talking about Kenrith because Kenrith is just good with everything.
Yeah.
And are you playing like a Kenrith deck, or are you playing like, I don't know, just some rinky-dink Chandra tribal burn deck for your own enjoyment?
Yeah.
Are you playing a super high-powered deck, or are you playing more of a very casual deck? That's definitely a very important discussion, because if you walk into a game and one person pulls out Brea, Ethereum Shaper, unless you have that discussion, you might not know that Brea's a very strong commander, and she'll absolutely obliterate you if you're playing if you're playing a very casual deck.
Right.
If you're not playing a very similarly power level deck, that can be a really long game to end up in one person's favor.
Long, grindy, or fast, and you feel unaccomplished. You got pub stomped.
It's like, yeah, I played 6 lands and one in like 2 spells the whole game.
Meanwhile, my opponent over there is what's that?
Comboing out.
Yeah, pretty much.
Comboing out.
That's always like our group, us personally,
Yeah.
I think we always have just sort of rule 0 ticked on. We're casual players. What's that? You want to play a Nephilim deck? Okay, cool.
But the thing is that our group, we play a lot of pretty similarly power level decks anyway, and we've played with each other so much that we know how the decks work, we know how the decks operate, and we know which ones are the most powerful ones.
We have that finite curve that we kind of all attune to.
And and then we also pretty regulatory. We regulate our own format. Like if someone's clearly doing better than the other three, then we all jump on them for a bit.
That's a 3-on-1 match right there. The other thing that you should really look into, like you showing up to that table, talking about your power level. All right, this is what we're going to be doing. There's always going to be that one player that's just struggling.
Who is that one player?
It's usually me.
And struggling like land. They can't get land. They can't get
they can't keep a thing on the board. They're just like draw, go, draw, land, something like that. Yeah. Try not to pick on that guy. Don't base them or their playstyle on the commander they're using. For instance, if somebody is playing, what's that double ETB guy? The Sultai one. Yarok
the Desecrated?
Yeah, like you're at a table with a Yarok player. Yarok's a scary guy. Yarok can do some work.
Yeah.
If that guy's missing land drops, if that guy is so far behind, don't be the kind of guy where it's like after it's turn 8, he has 3 lands, finally draws a Soul Ring, played it. Don't be the guy that counter that stuff. We take time out of our busy schedules. We take time to come to these shops, hang out with our friends. You don't want to be sitting at a table for 8 hours doing nothing.
That's tough. I mean, yeah, it's tough, but a lot of the times we go to play Commander to enjoy and relax anyway. So not being able to enjoy or relax and just sitting there kind of just struggling and staring at the wall is not an exciting way to play Commander. Because you're not enjoying your experience, it's not fun for you, it's not going to be fun for anybody.
Yeah.
That's tough. Might be fun for the one person that's coming out, but...
Right. And I'm not saying, like, just ignore the guy completely, but don't be that guy who's like, well, Dylan over here hasn't played a land in 4 turns. He has no creatures. Yeah. Might as well swing in with this 13-13 Eldrazi because I can.
Yeah. Well, he's got nothing, so...
He clearly has to die first, right?
Yeah.
Kill him first so he has to sit out while we all play our game.
Right.
Give the guy a chance is all I'm saying. Don't... Like, yeah, he's struggling. Yeah, his commander's a boogeyman.
Right.
Is he doing anything? That kind of leads into threat assessment, too, doesn't it?
Yeah, threat assessment is another very important aspect of Commander. Being able to, look at a table and look at the board state and determine, who I should actually be targeting with my spells and with my creatures. Do I attack the guy who just played a Soul Ring this turn, has all this mana and nothing to play, doesn't even have his commander on the field? Should I be attacking that player? Or the guy next to him that's playing, XYZ commander, has multiple creatures and has a good board state, who is more of a threat than this other player who's got nothing. So, being able to assess, to have smooth games is very important.
Yeah. And that's that whole, like, the thing we're talking about earlier, the good aspect. It's a casual format. We're not trying to be competitive, but that falls into, like, we want everybody to be a good player. We want everybody to kind of be on an even playing field, because that's what makes Commander fun. For me, Commander is fun if it's this back and back, like, thing. I don't want to see one dude at the table just skyrocket ahead of everybody and just sort of run away with the game.
Or if they do, then the other 3 players understand their threat assessment is that one player.
Do we pick up the guy who's on turn 3 played a Soul Ring and maybe a Chromatic Lantern? Or the guy that has, like, 3 copies of Mana Crypts and...
I'll pick on anyone that turn 1 Soul Rings.
I know you will.
But...
You'll pick on the guy who only has 1 land drop and 1 Soul Ring on turn 5. He's the reason he's dead, because he has a Soul Ring.
Clearly.
He's clearly the threat.
Soul Ring is the threat. I guess some other things to discuss then, that threat assessment is, what decks are you running? You know, like certain decks combo out faster than others. Like if I'm sitting there playing against Fizzlethip and his other partner buddy, the blue-black coin flip deck.
Oh no,
or
that's
blue-red coin
I know.
flip.
Yeah, that's I don't think that's Fibblethip. No, it's
Fibblethip. Pretty sure.
No, it's not. That's Fibblethip's from Ravnica. You're talking about it's the Is It pair. I forget what they're called.
I think it's Fibblethip.
Is it?
I believe so.
No.
We're gonna find out right now if I'm right.
Oh, we're finding out right now.
$10 says it's Fibblethip.
$10 says it's not Fibblethip.
You want to shake on that?
Sure, but I have my phone in my hand right now because I have to prove you wrong. I almost want to say...
I bet you it's Fibblethip, guys. To anybody watching, this will be the first bet. This is a sports betting right now. Well, while Brody's looking that up...
Aha, it's not. It's Okum and Zender split.
Let me see that shit. What?
Told you.
I thought Fibblethip.
Not Fibblethip.
Where is Fibblethip? Fibblethip's a partner commander, I think.
No, he's a mono blue. Fibblethip is if you play him, you draw a card. If he's played from the deck, you draw 2
Well,
cards.
guys, this will be my last time on the podcast.
That was a good run.
So, I already owe you for microphone. So, let's see. Next thing we'll be discussing. Oh man, you want to talk about phones?
Oh right. So this is like a pet peeve of mine.
I think it's a pet peeve of everybody.
I think it's a lot of people. Some people,
especially with people with board states who have triggers.
Yeah, some people don't care, some do. But one thing that bugs me, and I'm guilty of this too.
I think everybody's guilty.
Yeah, I'm guilty of this. I try to get better at it. There's some times where I'm trying to do multiple things too, and I have to be on my phone. But when you're playing a game of Commander, you're coming there to be casual, right? I keep your phone in your pocket. Now, if you use it as a life counter, fine. If you have it to the side because you just want to see if you have a text message or something like that, but don't be the guy who sits down, plays their turn, and then goes on their phone, ignores everything, and then it comes back to your turn. Because when you do that, you're not paying attention to the board at all. You are missing several triggers. You're missing opportunities to play counter spells or interact with the board. You are essentially kind of just playing solitaire at that point. And it's just rude and disrespectful to the other people you're playing with as well. You kind of get zoned into it. Don't be the guy who just shows up, plays his land, plays a spell, hits somebody, and then goes back and watches TikTok videos or starts Snapchatting with people.
Yeah, absolutely. My thoughts on phones are, the only time that I get, kind of get irritated with phones is if you have a board state and people are playing cards that are interacting with your board and you're just kind of just chilling, just not really paying attention. That's the only time that I'm really bugged about people being on their phones. It's like, yeah, they are clearly playing a spell that's targeting your board, like a counter spell, or not even a counter spell, like a board wipe. Like I'm playing Supreme Verdict, and you're playing against a wizard deck, and wizards are gonna have responses.
Oh yeah.
I think all the time I've played Baron, I've never had time to sit on my phone.
No.
Because it's like I'm waiting for someone to board wipe my stuff so that I can respond and bounce 80% of my cards to my hand.
Or you're that guy who plays Ristic Study and has like Smothering Tide or one of those effects, and then you go on your phone, and then you kind of pop back in when it's turn 3 in the order. It's the third dude's turn. And you're like, wait, how many things were played on your guys' turn? I played about a couple. I played 2. I played 3. Do you want to pay for that? Well, you missed your trigger.
Yeah.
And then they get upset because they're on their phone. It's like, well, no, you didn't pay, so I get to draw cards.
Well, I guess that leads into the next thing, confrontation.
Okay.
How do we deal with confrontation in Magic the Gathering?
Okay, so what you do is you hire some goons to come with you, and whenever this is the right way.
So far so good.
So far so good. Okay, so we get goons.
Yeah, to play Magic with you, right?
Oh, we're thinking of 2 different goons.
No, I'm messing with you.
We're not talking about taking a guy into the back of a car, throwing him in the
that
trunk.
kind of goon.
Those kinds of goons.
So like penguin goons.
You mean from the Batman movies?
Yeah.
With Danny DeVito?
Well, yeah.
Yes.
Either or. I mean, Danny DeVito is best penguin. All right, off tangent.
We're getting off tangent. But
Off
anyways,
tangent.
Confrontation in the game. There are a couple ways you can deal with it. Some might not be the best. Some are pretty good. One way, and I never recommend this, is just fighting fire with fire. There's always a way to defuse these situations. There's always a way to calm these things down. You don't need to get mad over a paper game. Yeah, if you miss your triggers and stuff like that, the dude gets mad and he draws his cards. Yeah. You always have the option of being like, okay, we're just going to ignore him now, and he's disqualified himself. Let's just play with the three of us. I've done that before.
I've never done that, but there are definitely, times where it's like, clearly the person we're playing with is disrupting our game. So after this game, we'll cut our losses and we just won't play with that player again.
That's always like the smartest decision.
Sometimes that's the best way. Oftentimes it's not. I mean, sometimes the best way is just either have that discussion with said player, like, all right, man, come on. We're just playing a casual game here.
Yeah, there's no need to get angry, upset, or anything like that. Like people where there's certain things, like Magic's a complex game with rules and interactions, and the stack can get out of control. I've seen so many people get upset on how like the stack works and how certain things interact. Yeah. And they make the biggest deal about it because it doesn't go in their way.
Yeah. That was one of the first things I did when I built my wizard deck, when I built Baron, was I spent so much time just reading over the rules of how the stack triggers work. So that when posed with the question, or whenever, a card that I played interacts with the stack or with someone's hand or with anything in the game, I'm equipped to know how that rule or how that trigger would occur. Because I don't want to, playing my deck, I don't want to play a card not knowing all the finite details of how that card actually is going to resolve, and then just expecting everyone to just be okay with it.
Yeah.
I want to know the rules so that then I can lay it out in very easy relative terms so that the game continues to flow and we don't have to pause for 20 minutes while everyone looks up the exact same card on TCG Player to find out the FAQ rules for it.
Somebody goes on a forum page or somebody... Yeah. Oh, I found this one random thread on Reddit that may or may not be right, but we're going to go with it type deal. A classic card, in my opinion, that brings this discussion to mind for knowing how your triggers work would be like discontinuity. Discontinuity is pay 6 mana, end someone's turn. Just end the turn.
Just end the turn. The turn ends. Yep. Whoever's turn it is. But you see, when you can play it is different to how, it has to be relative to the stack. So like on someone's upkeep, if you wanted to end their turn, you would have to wait for them to at least untap their lands.
You have to untap your lands, draw your card, and then you can...
No, they don't even get to... Well, see, it would go... The only thing that you can't respond to is the upkeep.
Oh, yeah.
So after they've untapped all their stuff, then you can play discontinuity.
Right, because they need...
Before they go to draw stuff.
They need a chance to respond, and that's what it is.
Yeah, so no matter what on your turn, you will always have your untap step.
Yeah.
And then if someone were to play discontinuity on you, you would not draw a card. Your turn would just end there.
Yeah. Or, I think the classic situation that we've seen a couple times in our group is Flusterstorm with Walking Archive. That card from Strixhaven that copies spells and stuff.
I'm not familiar.
The
Walking
card?
Archive? I'm not familiar with that.
Or what's his name? The colorless thing that copies a spell or... copies a spell if you don't pay 2.
Wandering Archaic.
Yeah, that's what it was.
I love that card.
Yeah.
Now I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I've seen situations where like people are playing Storm decks, or they're making multiple copies while there's somebody has a Wandering Archaic out.
Yep.
And that just, how the rules and this stuff like that, I've seen conversations blow up over... Yeah, Wandering Archaic can screw with the rules so much that people get upset about.
Absolutely.
But what we're talking about in those situations is just, you don't need to get upset. This is a game. We're just trying to enjoy ourselves, play powerful Magic, and do stupid things.
Yeah, it's not a game. It's not competitive. You're not going to a GP. You're not doing XYZ. You're playing a game with friends, and that's the whole aspect of Commander as it is.
Yeah.
It's table Magic. You're playing table Magic.
Yeah. Playing powerful Magic with your friends, having a good time, and just unwinding.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, but then there's aspects that aren't so much, players having good attitudes. There's like actual cards that a lot of people get frustrated when you see other people play these games. These cards tend to make games super grindy, super long, and they're just slugfests at that point. The stacks, board wipes, extra turn spells. These are going to be the kind of the go-to cards that people will be frustrated by. Stacks, for those of you who don't know, it's not just Winter Orb and Stasis.
Those are staples, though.
Those are staples for stacks.
If you're in that play group and you want to play those cards, those are staples.
But the question is, Brody, where did the term stacks originate?
Oh, it's smokestacks.
It's smokestack, 4 mana artifact.
I like that card.
Yeah. No, I don't.
I like that card.
I do not at all. 4 mana. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may put a soot counter on smokestack. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player sacrifices a permanent for each soot counter on smokestack. So this essentially is just turning the game into a really slow, really, really crappy round table of we don't have any permanents and we have no way to get rid of smokestack.
Stacks cards they were not designed for Commander.
No.
There are some cards that were designed, there are stacks pieces that were designed for Commander, but a lot of these old, like Winter Orb, Stasis, Smokestacks, those were designed for 1v1. They were meant to hinder your opponent.
Yeah.
Now, in a 4-player game, a lot of those effects can just go through the roof and really screw with stuff like Tangle Wire. I actually like Tangle Wire as one of my favorite stack pieces because it hurts you too, but it can really it's a piece that can actually slow down a lot of combo players too.
Absolutely.
Now, stacks aren't inherently evil. I have a quote-unquote stacks deck. It's my Shadrick Silverquill deck, but that's more of a politics stacks deck where it's like, hey, I could hinder your board, but if you don't attack me, I'll help you out and give you some other stuff too. But you'll meet those people where, and a notorious commander for that is Zur the Enchanter, where they'll play stacks decks, or Augustus, the blue-white Absorius guy that makes everything expensive on your opponent's side but makes stuff cheaper for you.
Oh, yeah. Grand Arbiter.
Grand Arbiter, yes. So, stacks aren't inherently evil, but you will come across those people where they'll play I'm just going to play a fully loaded stacks decks to just play it. That comes back to like that Rule 0 thing, where you're talking about your decks.
Yeah. Brody, if you sat at a table with someone that was playing a stacks deck unbeknownst to you, well, I mean, what would you do?
Well, this has happened to us. This has happened to me multiple times where I've come to my local store, sit down, it's been a long day, it's finally the end of the weekend, it's a Friday, I'm ready to play some Commander, and I have to sit there for 4 hours while some dude with an Urza deck has Stasis and Winter Orb out, and he gets to play the game saying, it's perfectly balanced, and I'm just like, yep, here I am with my Gishath deck twiddling my thumbs because I can't play any of my 7-mana dinosaurs.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
There does come a point where I would absolutely just scoop a game.
Oh, no, that's majority of the time what ends up happening, where it's like, oh, you're playing Urza and you've kind of locked me out, and you're not doing anything. You're just playing the stacks just so it's like, oh.
Just so that they're out there.
Yeah, you're not doing anything you can't do anything, but you've screwed us all over. Well, of course I'm going to, I want to play the game. I don't want to sit here for 3 hours while nothing untaps and I have to wait one turn after another to untap a land. Right. Hopefully.
Yeah.
So I'm going to scoop up. That kind of leads into like extra turn spells as well.
Yeah, infinite turn spells. Unless
you're winning with them.
Infinite turns, not that bad.
That's usually when you just sort of be like, all right.
If someone's playing infinite turns to win the game, that's definitely one thing. But just playing Expropriate for the sake of playing Expropriate,
Hey, don't you knock on my Expropriate.
Well, I'm going to, because I hate that card. That might be the one card that really rubs me the wrong way when I see it get played.
In a non-winning situation or just in general?
Just in general. Because the thing is that most times the player who plays Expropriate is going to win the game, but they won't win it on that turn. Because you don't play Expropriate to win the game. You play Expropriate because You're a jerk. You're a jerk.
I'm not that big of a jerk.
Not you. I'm just saying, just in general. I mean, I just don't like expropriate because the idea of everybody just voting for, oh, let's see, are you going to either steal all of my stuff or are you going to gain like 3 extra turns? Because the player that's played the card is already going to get 1 extra turn.
Yeah.
Because that's all they always pick time.
You don't want a permanent of your own. You already own that permanent.
Yeah.
My stance on like extra turns is a little bit, it differs.
Yeah.
Maybe that's because I have an Is It Extra Turns deck, but that's because Zafai's the commander, and all the big spells for like red and blue are extra turn spells.
Right.
That's how I win with that deck. Is I play like Thassa, Archaeomancer, and then like Time Stretch, and I just kill everybody through damage.
Most extra turn spells don't really bother me. It's really just expropriate.
You just have a vendetta against
I honestly just have a vendetta against expropriate. I think it's a really bad card. I just think that it's a really bad card that causes a lot of confrontation in most commander games that I've seen it played.
Right. I think and like we're talking about these cards, like when you should put them in your decks or when they might be good to play and stuff like that.
I believe that when you should put it in your deck is
never.
Well, expropriate never, but extra turn spells if it's on theme.
Yeah.
Like I built a Delver deck at one point, and Umbral Trespass was in there because it's like, oh yeah, a delve extra turn spell. It fits the theme, so I'll throw it in there.
Yeah, I have that. Like,
if it fits the theme of your deck or what your deck is going for, use it absolutely. Like I'm almost I've considered putting in Lighthouse Chronologist in my wizard deck because well, it's a wizard and it's got the level up mechanic and it is very powerful, but it's also really easy to deal with.
Yeah,
it's not sitting there. It doesn't have indestructible.
It's easily targetable or just killed.
And you have to spend mana.
Essentially the same amount of mana you would for a regular extra turn spell.
Right. This one's at the beginning of each end step. If it's not your turn, take an extra turn after this one.
Yeah.
So it can get really out of hand, but it's also very easy to deal with the amount of removal in Commander. Assassin's Trophy. And Swords to Plowshares, and Path to Exile, and every other, good piece of removal under the sun.
Yeah, but anyways, like, for me, extra turn spells, the one thing that'll bug me about an extra turn spell is, alright, you played your extra turn spell. Are you just doing it to draw a card, play a land? Sometimes, most times it's like, okay, yeah, you're just doing that. You are playing an expensive ramp spell, essentially, is what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're playing an expensive growth spiral. What'll bug me is when you've loaded your deck with, like, Rest in Peace Golos, but the Golos decks where it's like they didn't have Golos, but they had all the mana to play those extra turn spells.
Yep.
Just to play an extra turn spell, into an extra turn spell, into an extra turn spell, where it's like, okay, you're just playing these now.
Yeah.
And all you've essentially done is wasted about 8-10 minutes to draw 5 cards, play 3 lands, maybe play Golos, pass the turn.
Yeah. Brody, what's your favorite extra turn spell?
I think it's the cycle of red ones where you'll die.
Yeah.
Because
that's exactly where I'm at.
Because I run those in my Obeka deck.
Yep.
Because in that deck it just works.
Yep.
Because I essentially use them as ram spells in that deck because I don't have green. But it's like, okay, I need to play a land, I need to get some extra value, I need to draw some cards. If I play this extra turn spell, that's getting me ahead, that's keeping me kind of equal with other people. Also, I'm not going to blow up from it. I do like the Delve one, because I just like delving.
I know there's 3. It's Final Fortune, Last Chance, and Warrior's Oath. I think, Warrior's Oath is the only one that's new to me. That's from Portal 3 Kingdoms.
I don't have that one.
Yeah. Take an extra turn after this one. At the beginning of that turn's end step, you lose the game.
Yep.
That's the same wording on all 3.
Pretty much, yeah. It's just at your end step, you lose the game or you die.
Yeah. Which is fair. It's like, okay, it's forcing you to say, well, you're not just taking this for value. You literally have to win on this turn.
Or you're donezo.
Or you're done. So hope it works out for you.
Unless you're me with Obeka and it's just like, oh no, I'm going to die. Whatever shall I do? End the turn. All right. Oh look, it's my turn. Whatever shall I do? End the turn.
Yeah.
But I'm okay. Like, if your deck fits it, like Zafai, that deck. The extra turn spells just fit the deck because I need large spells. Unfortunately, I'm that guy who has to play 2 extra turn spells because I need to deal random 10 damage and make a 4/4 somehow. But like, what we're trying to get is like extra turn spells. They're fine if you play them. Try to win when you play them, or at least be like, hey, I'm playing this extra turn spell right now just to draw a card and play a land because I kind of need to do that and that's all I can do and I'm just trying to ramp. Be upfront about it. If, like, yeah, expropriate, don't be the kind of guy where it's like, well, this isn't going to win the game, but I'll get 3 extra turns. That still won't win me the game, but I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
It's a finisher card. Most extra turn spells, I view them in these kind of categories. Finishers or mana ramp.
Yeah.
Expropriate doesn't fit. Expropriate fits in the finisher barely.
Yeah. It's more ramp than anything. Because you're really just end up just stealing a bunch of permanents
And getting an extra turn.
and then getting at least 1 extra turn.
Unless you're with a table of fools and they're just like, hey, you'll get an extra turn.
Yeah.
This possibly won't backfire with us.
I always just say take an extra turn.
Yeah.
Because I'd rather them. Whenever someone plays it against me, I always say take an extra turn because I just want them to win.
Yeah.
I just want them to finish the game. Because at that point, they've already taken something from everybody's best permanent, and then they're just going to end up winning with it anyway. So I just give them the extra turn so that they can just finish it so I don't have to wait about it going around the table for them to recast the same cards. So
I run that in my Obeka deck, but that deck's all about stealing stuff, though. So I kind of get annoyed when people...
Like I said, if it's on theme...
Yes, it's on theme,
it
it's
makes
fine.
sense.
But if you're... trying to think of a dumb blue deck, or a deck with just blue that... If you're that Bant Voltron guy who has Exalted, and you're playing Expropriate... Oh, no, you can still win with that. You get an extra combat step. Just think about when you're putting these cards in your deck. Is this going to win? Is this really necessary? What can you gain from an extra turn, essentially? What's next on that list?
The last thing is CEDH in casual games.
Right.
Which I guess it kind of goes hand in hand with power level.
Yeah, but this is a big one for me. I myself play a lot of games on Discord. And especially during the pandemic, that's what I was doing almost every day.
Yeah.
Come home from work, because I was a frontline worker at the time, and I wasn't working. I was working like maybe 3 hours a day, which sucked. Wasn't making enough money, but this is a way to unwind. And you'd get into a pod, and some dude comes up with his Timna the Weaver Thrasios CEDH Flash Hulk deck, and it's like, hey, I'm playing Spider Tribal.
Yeah.
I don't think you're in the right pod, dude. Oh, no, it's fine. My deck isn't overpowered. I don't run that many tutors. I run a bunch of dual lands. That's what makes a deck powerful. That's what makes a deck CDH, right? It's not what you... Yeah, no.
I don't think so.
No, it doesn't, no.
I think that...
Tutors is what make...
Well, now you got me on that tangent. Because I don't think that dual lands are in any way, shape, or form... any aspect of a commander deck being broken.
Yeah.
Because there's so many untapped dual lands that come in. I mean, even the stuff that came out in like Innistrad.
Oh yeah.
They had the 5 new lands. For all like what was it? Blue, white, black, blue.
Rakdos, Dimir, Selesnya.
They had
Orzhov, Gruul.
Selesnya. Did you already say the Selesnya?
Yes, Selesnya. So they have green, white, blue, black, black, red, and green, red. Those are the 5 lands.
Yep.
But yeah, I've gotten to those kind of like
they all come in untapped if you control 2 or more lands.
Right. Now, look what we're saying. That falls into the power thing. Like you look at your table, you have 7-color chair tribal. You have you have Wooburg, and then you have gray. And then you have the old artifacts that have the brown border. They're your 7 colors, my dude.
Oh, well, there you go. I didn't know.
There you go. Yeah. I just made that up. That might be true. Who knows?
Well, you never know.
You never know. But then you got like, all right, Chair Tribal, Anafenza, Obzon, token +1/+1 counters, Firesong and Sun Speakers, Spellslinger, Boros. well, I guess I'll play my Solvala mono green big creatures draw everything deck. What's that? Mana Crypt into Jeweled Lotus, into Solvala, into Ice Crown Scepter, into some 5-drop. What's that? I win. I draw my entire deck. Was it turn 4? Oh, good game, guys. And like this will happen. There's always that one guy who will go to a command fest, go to a random shop, stop in. Look around. All right, let's go in this spot. You guys want to play a game? Sits down, and you just get pub stomped. Don't be that guy. Don't be the guy who just wants to win for the win. You got to know when to get into these pods. Just recognize this isn't the time for this deck. Right. There's nothing wrong with CEDH. I like playing CEDH. Our group knows that I have a CEDH Selvala deck. I'm that guy. Mm-hmm. But I will only break that deck out if it's CEDH.
Well, I've played that deck. It's not that bad.
It's not that bad.
It's not that competitive.
I don't think she likes you a whole lot. You just flood so hard.
I dirtle so much with that deck. It's just land.
I've never seen that deck dirtle so hard unless you're playing it.
Yeah. It's like, why is there so much fucking land in this deck?
There's only 17 lands.
Well, I seem to draw all of them. I always seem to draw all of the land in that deck.
But yeah, that's the thing. Like, CEDH, I enjoy it. I like it. Either play with your own pod, or play with a pod that at least knows you're at that kind of level.
Yeah.
Pick and choose your battles. Don't be the kind of jerk that kind of walks in thinking you're a hot shot.
Or... the other thing, too, is, that goes back to Rule 0. It's like, if you're going to play a CDH deck, that's acceptable, as long as the rest of the people you're playing with know what you're playing. If everybody knows you're playing, CEDH Kinnan, a Kinnan deck.
Oh, God, yeah.
Then that's fine. If they're like, sure, we don't care.
Yeah, this can be kind of like an arch enemy. Let's see what you can do.
Yeah, and then they win on turn 3. Well, then that's that. That's that. But if you're sitting there playing against Rakdos ad nauseum, and they're like, I don't know, this deck could go off at any point in time, and it goes off turn 2.
Yeah, no, don't be that kind of guy that makes up the bullcrap excuse where it's like, oh yeah, this is just my Rakdos Agnosia. Let's use the same example here.
I don't know. It just doesn't matter. It's like this is a casual deck. Yeah, it's like clearly it's not.
Don't be the guy that comes up with, you built a CDH deck in these colors. Now I just need a commander that fools everybody. Chromat, the 5-color thing that has the old Kenrith.
Cough, cough, Sun Quan.
Shush you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's there's definitely some aspects to Commander that are very important. That's pretty much all we got.
I don't know, we got more than that.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of wanted to just talk, let them know about Discord, our future.
Oh, that's right. Too. What we're doing. This is also kind of like a little update video for what we're doing. I forgot about that.
I think the next episode will be...
We'll be in the midst of spoiler season.
Yeah, so we'll be talking a lot about spoiler season. We'll be talking about different decks and how our decks are... How each, the spoilers can be integrated into some of our own Commander decks.
Maybe we want to build that Commander.
Yeah. That's
speculations, like what I want to see for...
Midnight Vow?
No.
Crimson Vow.
Crimson Vow. Because they're vampires.
Yeah.
Wati, if you're listening to this, print Strip Mine into Standard. There go. It's in Modern. It's a card that's just a 1-for-1.
That wouldn't be bad.
I don't think it would be bad in Modern.
Strip Mine would be an interesting add to Modern, actually.
I would like it. I would love it. But that's because I play a prison deck in Modern right now.
That's true. Yikes.
I only need 1 mana to play a Soul Sister into another Soul Sister next turn, gaining like 8 life because I have 18 variants of Soul Sister. But no, that's just me. But yeah, we'll be talking about that. I
think we'll also want to hear from you guys.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
Comments, concerns, or what you guys want to see. Do you guys want us to do deck techs? Do you guys want us to... we have... Brody has like 26 decks we can talk about.
I'm actually up to 36 now.
Well, we have 36 decks we can talk about. I only have 2. I have 2 Commander decks I'm fine with talking about, and the inner workings of those decks. That'll eat up some time if you guys are interested in deck tech videos or...
Let us know what you want to see. I I tend to stream almost every Friday. Sometimes Monday, Wednesday, and Friday are usually the days I might stream on my Twitch channel if I'm open.
Yeah.
I tend to stream Arena, League of Legends, whatever I'm kind of feeling at the night. But
yeah, absolutely. I don't stream. I don't like streaming.
But no, we're just local Minnesota boys too, so we'll usually be at game stores.
Yeah, we have our couple favorite stores that we play at in White Bear Lake,
Oakdale.
Yeah,
White Bear Lake and Oakdale.
White Bear Lake and Oakdale are kind of our places to hang out.
Yep.
I mean, comment, leave comments. What you guys want to see. If you guys want us to do deck tech videos, box breaks. We'll be talking a lot about Midnight Crimson Vow when it starts to get spoilers out.
Definitely.
That'll be something that'll be talked about quite a bit in the coming weeks.
I actually got a quick deck tech right now.
I know our next. Let's see, and then after Crimson Vow comes out, we'll be doing more of these just random discussion videos. So if you guys have suggestions on what you guys want to hear, what you guys want to see, just let us know. We just have our what do we have left here? Just our Discord stuff. So we just made a new Discord channel. It's the Dylan Brody Our Magic podcast Discord. The link will be in the description for the podcast, and come in, chat, throw in whatever. It still needs some work, so there will be hopefully when this video does come out, there will be a lot of stuff that'll be available on the Discord channel. Our videos are going to be released starting. Well, from our last two videos, if you guys saw our last video on Midnight Hunt, our top 20 episode cards for Midnight Hunt, we'll be releasing videos every Monday at 9 a.m. Central Time.
Yes.
And we are also looking at maybe doing a second video during the week, maybe on a Wednesday.
No promises right now.
No promises right now, but we're probably considering doing a second video on a Wednesday or a Thursday for an upload. So yeah, just keep in touch. Let us know what you guys want to see, and be sure to like, subscribe, share this video with a friend, leave comments, let us know what you guys want to see in future videos. That's all I got. You got anything else, Brody?
No, I'm good.
Yeah. So this has been the Dylan and Brody Our Magic podcast. Stay tuned for the next episode. Thanks, guys. Take care.
All right.